Thursday, 11th of September. You're back in business with me, Harsha Subramaniam. Auto sales picking up pace, demand returning. The Indian auto component industry has begun seeing a steady surge in volumes. The $35 billion industry is expected to grow by a healthy single digit in fiscal 15. The improved outlook on the sector has been driving stocks quite substantially. What's driving stocks ahead? I'm joined by Harish Lakshman, President of the Auto Component Manufacturers Association, or ACMA. I'm also joined by Swati Khandelwal and Agam Vakil. Agam, take me through the stocks first. I mean, these stocks have been running fast. Amtech, for instance, has been, 200% up. What's going on?
Staggering returns for this particular sub-segment when it comes to this rally. And, the auto ancillary segment is one area which has given great returns for all those who are invested in this particular space. Let me take you through some of the returns. Amtech Auto up as much as nearly 3 times this year-to-date basis. We're also looking at good gains in Sona Koyo as well as Motherson Sumi. Bosch also moving up around 50%. What are the reasons behind these gains as far as the space is concerned? Well, first of all, we know that the market itself has turned positive. There are significant returns for everyone who was invested in it. But the auto ancillary space remains the preferred segment in this entire market. Moreover, the auto ancillary space has seen its business models evolve. So we've seen a lot of these companies specialize in certain products, which has given them impetus in their business as well. Of course, they're well diversified when it comes to the currency movements, and of course they've also had an increase in exposure to the non-automotive space. So that's also helping them counter the weakness in the automotive area. Of course, on the other hand, we've also seen well hedged. These companies are well hedged across markets. We also have these companies with wide exposure to export markets, and strong demand abroad has actually helped counter the weakness in the domestic areas. And these are some of the reasons why we've seen such a gain in the auto components industry for now.
Let's get that up again for you. You saw Sona Koyo, Amtech Auto, Bosch. Bring that up. The year-to-date stock performance. That's 111% for Motherson Sumi. Bosch is up 50%. Let's look at the other one. Amtech Auto is up 216%. Bharat Forge up 166%. Sona Koyo 182%. Wheels India over 100%. All of this is just year-to-date. This is from January to September performance. That's the story of the auto component industry. Swati, let's talk about the business. What's the road ahead like for the industry? I understand ACMA is going to be holding a conference today that talks about capturing the global opportunity and so on. But is there really, is it the global story or is it the domestic story?
Well, domestic clearly is turning for the industry here. I mean, you talk about various factors that have contributed to the growth, and as Agam was pointing out, the whole bit about low input costs and the crude that, is cooling off, which constitutes almost 40% of the total cost for the industry. The rubber prices at their 5-year low, obviously is good news for the auto component industry. But talk about after sales. Really, that has grown by almost 12%. If you see in FY14 alone, 35,000 odd crore rupees is what it stands at as far as auto component industry is concerned. Exports clearly are picking up. They've grown by almost 17% in FY14 at 61,000 odd crore rupees, which is about $10 billion that the industry is right now standing at. What's also good news is we saw the SIAM numbers come in. Domestic car sales are picking up, a segment which had taken a bit of a beating last couple of years. Finally, we are seeing healthy double-digit growth coming in the month of August. We've seen 15% rise in car sales alone in 1 month. Also, we've been seeing a steady growth in the two-wheeler space, so that continues. But the commercial vehicle, that segment, which is still to see a sign of recovery, but it's at least headed in that direction. We've seen the contraction come down from fall of a double digit. It's come down to 5% fall. So there's a decline and there is a hope of recovery there. What's the road ahead? Well, we've seen very, very good returns coming in the first 2 quarters of this year as far as auto component industry is concerned in the net profit. Harsha, I want to point out that some companies have actually given a net profit return of almost 600%. I want to point out Lumix Industries, for instance, their net profit in Q2 FY15 is up almost 689%. Minda Industries is up 236%. Their net profit in this period is up that much. Gabriel India again 58%. Rane Brakes, Motherson Sumi, Bosch, Exide, all with very healthy double-digit net profit returns in the second quarter of this year alone.
Right. Thanks for that, Swati. Let's talk about this industry a little further. Harish Lakshman, president of ACMA, which is the Auto Component Manufacturers Association, joins in. Harish, thanks for joining in. I want to talk about demand first. What's your assessment of demand? Do you see the process of recovery on track?
We are just coming back from a difficult 2 years after a boom that we had. The last 2 years have been extremely difficult for the automotive industry. But a lot of confidence has come back ever since the formation of the new government. And, in line with everything else in the economy, including the stock market, we're also seeing beginning to see a revival in the auto industry. Clearly, the passenger car market has started improving in the last 2 months. We're not seeing huge numbers, but definitely it's encouraging. The two-wheelers continues to be strong, and the tractor segment also continues to be strong. But as far as commercial vehicle is concerned, we are yet to see any pickup in the market. But I'm personally hopeful that by the end of Q3, post Diwali, we will see a pickup in the market. And as far as outlook is concerned, this year at the end of the year will only be a moderate growth. But I expect 15-16 and 16-17 to be very good years for the auto sector.
Harish, the fortunes of this industry are so closely interlinked to what's going on in the automobile space. And most companies that we speak to give us the sense that they are very big on the coming festive season. Is there indication that the market is likely to revive by then?
No, I think all indications are that by the festive season we will see a pickup in the market. So I'm hopeful that we will see it.
Okay. Let me ask you a slightly broader question then. Are you seeing a revival of the investment cycle? Are companies like yours investing fresh capex for expanding capacities?
So let me give you an automotive perspective, because that's what I'm most familiar with. From the component standpoint, clearly there is excess capacity. As I said, from the last 2 years we have had negative growth, and we are yet to reach the peak levels that the industry has seen. So clearly there is excess capacity in the market. So as a result, the capex has also come down. If you see, the auto component industry generally invests about $1.5 to $2 billion per year in the good years. But last year it actually came down to as low as about $800 million, the entire industry capex. I think that, even this year, while we will see some growth in the capex, it will not go back to the peak levels that we have seen because of the excess capacity. But as I said earlier, I think 15, 16, 16, 17, right, you will see the capexes go back to record levels.
Sure. Most component players are relying on the export market as well, Harish, as you know well, and which has been doing relatively well, I understand. What's your outlook on performance on the export front?
Yeah, in fact, that in many ways has been a silver lining for us, Harsha. The export market has been steadily growing. US and Europe are very important markets for us. And the US car market has revived, since the collapse in 2007-8, and we are seeing stable growth there. And Europe has also turned around the corner. The worst is over in Europe, so we are seeing some stability there. And clearly the auto component industry is recognized for the quality of the parts that we make here. And many of the parts that we supply to go to vehicles made by Volkswagen, GM, Ford, etc. And also what has happened in the last 1 year is the currency depreciation, the rupee depreciation has actually made us more competitive, vis-a-vis, let's say, China and Korea. And, China has also had an appreciation of their currency. So a combination of this has actually made us competitive. And so our view is that, as long as the Indian rupee continues at 58 plus, we will continue to see even more export growth. And we are quite bullish about it.
Harish, we'll leave it there. Many thanks indeed for joining us with your perspective. Harish Lakshman, President of the Auto Components Manufacturers Association, talking about the road ahead. Up next in business, the sentiment in the economy may be positive, but the real change is still some time away. Meher Padamji of Thermax on the other side.